G.I. Joe figures and vehicles sold separately.
Battle Corps! Cobra needs its gold for their ultimate weapon, but they're not gonna get it.
No, but you are.
It's big, it's bad, and it's gonna blow!
Fire!
It's the Cobra Detonator with long-range air-powered missiles.
Fire!
But G.I. Joe headquarters strikes back with rapid-fire guns.
Got him!
Fire! Cobra Detonator comes with exclusive Nitro Viper figure. G.I. Joe headquarters and other figures sold separately. Batteries not included.
Cobra's got the gold! And we got trouble.
Get G.I. Joe tough!
I got it!
Super tough G.I. Joe General, a huge mobile battle fortress with working lights and electronic battlefield sounds.
Cobra attacking! Fire! On the battle copter!
The General has a giant cannon that really fires.
Fire!
With lights, action, and electronic battlefield sounds, nothing beats the General.
A real American hero!
General has lights, 6 electronic sounds, a battlecopter, and major storm.
Mega Marines!
Cobra's hideous mega monsters are unstoppable!
The Mega Monsters attack with crushing tentacles and gruesome gut bombs. But G.I. Joe Mega Marines come equipped with pressure-molded bioarmor.
Battle damage!
And here's the G.I. Joe Monster Blaster APC with its lock-and-load cannon.
Lock, load, fire!
Mega Marines come with bioarmor. Cobra Mega Monsters and G.I. Joe Monster Blaster APC. Figures and vehicles sold separately. Cave Lab set not available.
You Cobra monsters are pretty tough, but I'm gung-ho!
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to episode 2 of Neon at Night. We got 2 guests, 2 hosts, and I got 2 sides of my collar popped. So this week we're talking about all enemies all night. So nothing but Cobra. I'm going to bring in my co-host James. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad.
Yeah, living the dream?
Living the dream, living the dream.
Awesome.
So-
So I heard a rumor that something was new with you. What do you got going on?
Well, I'm getting married in 3 weeks. So
Yep.
we're
Anything else going on? Did you do something? Did you do a thing?
Let's see. You're gonna have to remind me about that.
You did a thing, probably on the platform that we're streaming on, maybe?
Oh, I have my own I have my own YouTube channel now. So it's
Sure
called Spring Loaded Missile Launcher. If you'd like to follow, I upload lots of old G.I. Joe commercials, mainly from the 90s. So but
Yep. And Photo Viper says congrats, and the link will be in the description.
Thank you very much.
Cool, man. Awesome. Really cool. So you're going to get married a week after our next episode, episode 3.
Yep, that's right. So
That's real cool, man.
the butterflies are happening.
Yeah. Oh, I bet, brother. Yeah, I've been there too. So I'm happy for you. So
Thanks, man.
tonight we got 2 guests with us, 2 awesome guys. And I'm going to bring on the first one now. And this is my buddy Sal from 2 Cents Toys. And yeah, Sal's a really awesome dude. He has no impulse control. And Sal and I got to hang out at Joe Fest in June. We had a really good time. What's up, Sal?
That's awesome.
What's going on? He's correct. I have absolutely zero impulse control when it comes to
100%.
buying anything. So yeah, it's I wouldn't say I regret any of my purchases, but there have been times where I'm like, I'll buy something. I'm like, now I have to eat ramen for a week. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. That's the decision, right?
yeah, it is what it is.
That's all right.
Yeah.
So, Sal, you want to tell anybody about yourself? I mean, I'm sure most people watching already know. Look at that. Boom. Drew G right there. What's up, Drew? Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Hey,
Drew and I did a live stream actually on Friday. So
Yeah.
that's the newest thing on the channel. I'm Sal, 2 Cents Toys. It's the same name across all social media. If you are trying
Nice.
to get in contact or anything like that, just YouTube and Instagram are the ones that get the most traffic. Mostly, there's like a Facebook page and there is a Twitter for that, but that's only so no one like apes the name and tries to pretend to be me. Those are kind of just placeholders. I don't really use those 2 things, but they're there. So
Right.
And I got to say, Sal, that episode of The Way We Played, what was it, episode 10, right, that you guys just did, you and Drew?
Yep.
Man, that was a great episode. And the way that Drew described, like, you know, the highly trained elite special mission force versus, you know, the overly technologically superior force of Cobra. Like that was a perfect way that he explained it, and that's how I've always described Cobra versus GI Joe in that fight. And like that was a great episode, my man. Like I was super excited about that.
Exactly. It was a really great episode. I haven't had a stinker in the bunch yet, so I've enjoyed it. It's my favorite thing to do on the channel. I just never really get to do it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, Ryan B says hit the like button. So we would all appreciate it if everybody here would hit the like button. And real quick, we got going all the way back up because we just been chatting. So we got Treasures for Trigger. So we got Phil, which is really awesome. Thanks for coming. We got Paul. We got our buddy Photo Viper.
Photo Viper, what's up?
Dickman's in the house. And of course, Drew and Ryan's here. And speaking of being here, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our next guest, our buddy JD from General Geekery Podcast. What's up, JD?
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
What's up, JD?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Awesome. You put your Blockbuster hat on?
Yes.
Hell yeah, man.
Well,
nice.
In the pregame, when we were doing this before, I was like, oh no, I've got too much forehead going on. So I felt like the leader from The Incredible Hulk. So
you got forehead, brother. Look at this, man. I got nothing but forehead.
I got a little bit going on myself.
But I have hair and a 5 head. So
I love it, dude. I love it.
But I mean, I figured we might as well do it's actually a hat that I got from Etsy. But
okay.
Yeah,
still a sweet hat, dude.
Yeah. This hat gets attention because people are like, I remember that. I'm like, everybody who's well over 35 does. So
hell yeah, man. Be kind and rewind. So also joining us in the chat, we got Craig. What's up, Craig? We got Tiff, James.
Yep.
And we got our buddy
Tiff.
Sean. Yeah, she's like right across the room. You're like,
yeah, she's she's like right.
So
there
JD, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your podcast and General Geekery and Go Figure and all that stuff, if you don't mind.
Okay. My podcast is General Geekery. My co-host is Brian, who's got his own YouTube channel that he hosts the podcast on called Go Figure Customs. Mm-hmm. He does hyper detailed paint jobs on his customs, and he already had the channel when we decided to try doing a video version of the podcast, so he decided to host it on his channel. As much as I support what he does, I'm not actually part of Go Figure Customs because my work doesn't rank with his, so I can't. But I mean, I do have one of his channel stickers on the laptop that I'm working on. But yeah, we're at General Geekery where we talk about a little bit of everything, but a lot of it tend to skew towards G.I. Joe because that's where our biggest shared passion is.
Nice.
I've been a Joe collector or a Joe fan since my dad bought me Rock and Roll version 1 back in '83. He found it at the PX on Fort Benning, Georgia. And
nice.
After that, I remember having Flash, Snake Eyes, the Mobat, and CoverGirl with the
wow.
So
I think I was just a baby then.
And I never outgrew G.I. like all the way through, like even when most people are teenagers and they outgrow no. When I was 18, when I was 17, I went over to Toys R Us in the shopping center I worked at when they released the 1997 G.I. Joe the anniversary celebration. I'm like, yeah, I didn't care. I never outgrew it. And I mean, to show my fandom, I have the Arashikage on my arm.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
I've got the G.I. Joe Eco Warriors around my arm. So
that's pretty sweet. I like that.
I might be in my 40s, but I skew a lot of my interests skew towards the 90s Joes. So I was in with the neon from the beginning. So
that's awesome.
There you go, James. Look at that, buddy.
Nice.
Right there.
That's something I did not know about you until now, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got, I'm such a nerd that within this lineup also includes 2 of my own fan fiction characters that I created to go with the Eco Warriors.
Oh, that's
And of
cool.
course, Airtight's included because it was stupid that Airtight was left out in the first place.
Yeah.
Which
Right
we
on.
talked about on episode 1.
Yep, we actually did.
So,
We surely did.
but yes, I am a card-carrying Joe geek. So,
Right
Very
on.
rad, very rad. And Vickman
Awesome.
said Eco Warriors tattoo, cool. Right on. Yeah, that's really awesome. All right, so we're gonna get into this. We're gonna talk some enemy figures, vehicles, maybe a playset, maybe. And then before we get going, I gotta thank Carson Metaxas again because he lets me use the images, and Carson's a really rad dude.
Yeah.
He would be here, but he's actually hosting his Operation Recall countdown right now because his Kickstarter's about to end. So he's hosting that.
All right on.
And yeah, let's boogie. Let me share a screen here. All right, clicking. Hopefully it's the right screen. Ooh, nailed it on the first. Here we go. All right, so let's get into it. There's Operation Recall. So I already gave that shout out. I don't know. Did you guys back this?
I did, yeah.
I didn't, but I shared the living hell out of it. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people, saw it. At least.
Sal.
No, I
I
didn't.
backed it, and the top
freaking
4
did.
that I wanted are all unlocked. So I'm very happy about this.
Yeah. I went hard in the paint on this. I go hard in the paint on all of it, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. I love it. All right, here we go. First figure. Ready? James, man. I can't believe you.
Oh,
with this
nice.
kid. I can't
Gristle.
believe you. All right, so
Yep.
this is 1993 Battle Core Gristle.
Gotta have the Gristle up in the house.
Go for it, James.
Gristle's pretty cool. He's like his name's kind of comical, but his face sculpt screams 1990s villain. I mean, he's just super cool. He's like how, like in the Mafia, they had like the captains and they had the boss and then the captains. He's like the captain to the head man. So he's just like super cool. I really can't say enough good things about him. He's one of my favorite figures.
Well, I mean, you're a badass when you clearly don't care about recoil.
Yeah. He does not care whatsoever.
Nope.
So I'll be honest, man. I didn't know a lot about this figure, but immediately right off the bat, I'm looking at the sleeve designs, and it's more like padding than actual sleeves because you can see his skin under it all here.
Yeah.
And he's got like this weird, dirty blonde Polly Pockets thing going on. But this head and these arms don't really match what's going on here on the card art. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I did notice that too. I'm not sure why that is.
That and this and all this stuff. When I was putting these images together, I was like, I don't know.
I'm kind of taken aback by the assless and crotchless chaps that he's wearing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't paint the chaps in. They just look like pants with they look more like pants with just different colors on them. But yeah, those are definitely chaps if you look at the card art.
Look at this lacing here, Sal. What do you think of this lacing right here, man?
I'm thinking he better maybe has like, I don't know, a genie weenie or something, but I'm like I hope he doesn't have to go to the bathroom, or maybe the suit takes care of it.
So Photo Viper says his sculpt is great, lots of cool detail.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
Dickman says Steven Seagal. So anyway, so there we go. There's Gristle.
I've never owned that figure before. I'd like to get one, but I've never owned him before.
Yeah, I haven't either. And I gotta say, man, like, I'm all about full disclosure. Gentlemen, I was laughing my ass off when I was putting these images here together. I mean, look at that. Like, I get this, right, because that like kind of screams his whole attitude, but this, like, just the way Carson propped him up with that little rock.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Be like a romance novel, like something in one of those.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe I'll dress up as him for Halloween.
If he were super buff, he'd be like Duke Nukem or something.
Right? And I kind of thought about that with like the colors and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Photo
Kinda
Viper
reminds me of
says
that.
he digs it, the Exodus logo on his crotch. Yep. And then the crotch lacing. Come on, Phil. What's up? And then Drew says, with a name like Grishel, he should have been a Dreadnought.
Right.
I will give that to Drew.
Yeah.
100%.
They should have had like a 2-pack where it's like his twin brother was called like Chicken Skin or something.
Gristle and tendon.
Crystal and tendon. There you go.
Yeah, there is. And then, of course, right, it's 90s, so we got your spring-loaded gimmick there.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else for old Gristle here?
I wish I had him. That's all I got.
He was.
And then Paul agrees.
He was.
Looks like a Dreadnought.
Yeah, he was a lot different than the Deke cartoon. I don't think they ever called him Grizzle, but he definitely had the same ponytail. But he was wearing like a sleeveless version of the Headhunters leather outfit. So I think he was intended to be Grizzle, but yeah, the most I remember about those episodes was Headman's goofy voice and Lieutenant Falcon's spark addiction.
Lieutenant Falcon getting all cracked out.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. Gristle's a very common figure, and he's like pretty cheap, so he's kind of easy to get. So he's not too hard to get.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with all that Street Fighter 2 stuff, man. Like,
oh yeah,
I know people bag on Street Fighter 2, but I have that Street Fighter 2 Dragonfly, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love that vehicle. And
the place that's not cheap, but yeah.
And just to thumb my nose at all the purists, I have my G.I. Joe headquarters, the original one, and it's totally manned and operated by the Street Fighter 2 figures.
Oh, nice!
I love it, dude.
That's cool.
Very awesome. That's very cool. All right, are we ready to say goodbye to Gristle? You want to keep on it? No. There he is. Okay. Later, dude. I didn't make these a slideshow because slideshows are small. Okay, so next, he's the pilot. Kind of like Interrogator was, right? The same thing with that grip and rip helicopter. But I picked this one, and I picked the Heliviper. So it's a 1992 Battle Corps Heliviper.
Pretty badass.
Yeah. Anybody got any thoughts on this sucker?
Would you like to start, JD or Sal?
Well, when I was a kid, I had it, and what immediately struck me was I realized that the Snow Serpent's mask was too distinctive. Even the way they painted it, I couldn't buy it. I'm like, it's a purple Snow Serpent. That's when I realized that the mask and the goggles are so iconic to Cobra's first Snow Trooper that I'm like, I don't think I couldn't really buy it as a different troop class. The Night Viper's body, I thought, kind of had that going a little bit, but that helmet, even now, it's still a Snow Serpent.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't have a problem with them reusing old molds and repainting them. I mean, I always love when they do that, especially if they change it up to the point where it was unrecognizable. Look at Sky Patrol. All their bodies were just vehicle drivers repainted. Most of them were unrecognizable. But
yeah,
when you use that Snow Serpent head on this, I'm just like, no, they just should have used a different head, I think.
Yeah. In the 90s, they're trying to save on money, so they reused a lot of parts and stuff like that, especially the weapons. They reused a lot of that stuff. So
yeah,
I'm just impressed that he's using a thigh holster for a long arm.
Exactly. And I was going to talk about that too. Like, I mean, it is a neat little touch that they put that pegged thigh holster on there for a weapon. But they put it for a slung rifle, which is pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
But, we're kind of talking about, reuse and whatnot. And this is the 2016 JoeCon version. There actually is no carded version of this because he was bagged. So, and that's this dude right here. So we're talking about reuse, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, that is definitely Snow Serpent.
Oh, cool.
In the modern, it's even more glaringly obvious that that's a Snow Serpent.
Agreed. Yeah. And
it kind of goes along with the JoeCon, the figure subscription, the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. The later moderns, it was just Kit Bash City, all of them. And,
that can work in some contexts if they do it right. If they put some, there's a motion activated light over here, and
no, it's cool. It's like you live in the Exorcist house. It's all right.
yeah, I didn't account for it when I was planning this. So,
totally cool.
Some of the kit bashing was cool, but yeah, I know what the club was trying to do here by recreating the Heli Viper, but I'm like, yeah, I wish they'd broken the tradition and gone with a different head, but I kind of get why they didn't.
Yeah.
So real quick, just to touch on what Phil, Treasures for Trigger, was saying, that the more purple, the better. That's the thing that draws me to this figure, especially the modern version, right? It's like, loving the Mamba, like this figure, he goes so great with the Mamba.
Right.
He just fits right in with that vehicle. Yeah.
Well, I never considered that before, but yeah, now I can see it. Yeah. He would, because
the Mamba pilot wears that like tan kind of coverall thing, but you chuck him out of there and you put the Heliviper in there, especially three of them. It looks like money.
Cool idea.
What about the Cobra Fang 2? Right? He probably goes really good with that. Oh yeah.
Cobra Fang 2? Thing was awful.
Screw that thing. I hate that piece of shit.
But he would make a great, a great pilot for it.
I don't know. See, personally, if it was me, I had one. I made Tripwire fly it because he's my least favorite character, and I didn't like the vehicle, so I thought I'd probably get killed flying this. So Tripwire was an easy.
Tripwire?
No, he's the worst. And all of his repaints, no, I don't like Tripwire in any colors.
You don't like Listen and Fun? Remember back in the day how everybody thought Listen and Fun Tripwire was a knockoff?
I did not know that figure existed until 1998 when I discovered Yojo.com.
And that would have been 2006 for me.
That's crazy. Sal, what do you got for Heliviper?
Nothing but love and contempt.
Love and contempt.
Yeah, I like the neon. That would have been up my alley, but when it comes to like the helicopter gimmick, Interrogator takes it over anyone else that may have had it. So, Sal,
aren't you a Deep Six version 2 guy?
I am. I have 8 or 9 of them, I think.
That's why I threw up Paul's comment here for you.
Yeah, version 1 is not very good. It's not very good at all.
Yeah. Anyway, that was for you.
Yeah.
There you go, James.
Obviously.
Yeah, version 4. So Craig's got 2 carded gristles for you there, James.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Yeah, real
cool. Nice, man.
Love and contempt. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. The glaringly obvious snow serpent head, even back then, is a little but put him with the Mamba, you got money. So, and I like the modern one, but that's the thing with a lot of the moderns, like they're hard to find and they're expensive. And then when I get them, I don't know if you guys can see this. You see how loose he is?
Yes.
He just jiggles.
He
just jiggles. Yeah. And that was like brand new. And he just jiggles like that.
Wow.
It's just so loose. I know. I got that modern sightline, and I was really stoked to get him, based on the Gary goggles. And I hate to say it, it's a shit figure. It's a total shit figure. Anyway, all right. So real quick. So Paul says, 2 POA, right? 2 points of articulation on that version 1 Deep Six. And then Photo Viper says he loves all versions. Okay, so now we're getting off the rails talking about friggin' Deep Six. All right, cool. Anybody else on Heliviper?
Just besides he's one of the coolest troop builders of the 90s. That's about it.
He's going away now. Say bye. Okay, bye. All right, so moving on. James.
Yeah.
There's your dude. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Buddy.
Cobra Commander version 4. Nice. 1991.
Yep. 91 Cobra Commander version 4.
Huh?
Take it.
Oh, okay. Well, I gotta say, he's probably besides version 3, he's probably my favorite Cobra Commander. He's got an awesome glider, which is usually lost all the time now. it's kind of hard to find, accessory. He's got a gold pistol. I mean, not a pistol, but it's a submachine gun. He's got his face mask is super cool. When you take it off, he looks super ugly though.
Yeah, he does.
And
probably have a picture of that.
I'm not sure what's up with his helmet. Like his helmet, it kind of goes up to a point, and it looks like I don't know, like it's got like scales from, I don't know, just a really weird looking helmet.
It's a snake. It's part of the. It's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's here's my hang up with it, and it always was clearly the red face mask is clearly in two parts. There's a V-shaped part that comes down to the middle of the face, and it's definitely it definitely looks like it's supposed to be part of the helmet sculpt, but it was separate and it was unpainted. The comic book at the time when he first appeared in this had that V shape as colored gold, and I always thought that made a lot more sense. One of our 90s group members, Gavin, he did his own custom version modification of this where he has the extra gold part painted, and it's a massive improvement. But
nice.
Otherwise, from the neck down, I love this version of Cobra Commander. It was so different and so interesting. He looked like a real badass.
I don't like how baggy his pants are. Those pants are like super like baggy. But besides that, yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all that shit on his hips.
Yeah.
That's my description. Shit on your hips.
I actually made a meme about him recently. About his hips and about his pants.
Sal, what do you got? Cobra Commander version 4.
The two things I like about him the most is that he came with a drone in the 90s before that was a thing. At least that's what that is to me. And I like the fact that even though he has the red mask, that they actually sculpted a face under it. Like they could have easily just left it blank. You know what I mean? They could have just, not put anything there, but they sculpted a face. They took that extra mile because I think they knew making it two parts that kids were going to pull it off. So
100%. 100% going to yank that thing off. There's your drone, dude.
I know. I pulled mine off just to see what he looked like. And I like the face sculpt. He's got a really good face sculpt.
Vickman says Levi baggy jeans do 90s.
That's right. 10 years from now, they're going to say Jenko.
Yeah, Jenkos. Or what did the girls wear? Juicy jeans?
Juicies.
Juicy. Yeah, cool. Cobra Commander version 4. There's your face mask with that kind of V in there.
Yeah. Now, see, I've never seen one in person where it's clear. Like mine have always been like solid red. Anytime
so you can't even see his eyes like that.
So I'm guessing maybe that's just due to age or something, or maybe there was a variant. I don't know, but the two I have are solid red.
There you go, right there. So Fodder Viper says, I got the Fun School version. Faceplate is not translucent.
Okay.
You can't see the face.
So maybe mine's Fun School then.
Hell yeah, Fun School. Right on. That's cool, man. That's good to know. Right on.
Awesome.
James, do you still have yours?
I have I have the figure. I don't have all the accessories.
Figure's still the figure, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll get eventually I'll probably get them all, completed. But right now I have many other things that's on my mind. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm totally sure. Yeah. So Phil says, sorry, that's not my Coco cool looking figure though.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's not my go-to Cobra Commander either. I mean, there he is, right? We're talking bad guys. It was either Cobra Commander version 4 or freaking Major Blood. You know what I mean? So like we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
I almost threw in Destro version 3. Just because it looks like Destro version 1, but the head's a little better, just not shiny. Big fan of that Destro. And then Paul says that's his main 90s Cobra Commander. Cool. All right.
Awesome.
Anybody got anything else for Cobra Commander? Going once, twice, thrice? No?
Nope. I'm good.
Cool. All right, so we are going to move on. This next guy's mine, right? So James picked 3, I picked 3. We just kind of at random. We didn't really agree or disagree on who we were going to pick, right?
Right.
Bam.
Ooh.
Yep. Crimson Guard Immortal.
Hard to argue with
man.
this one.
I just reach way down. I go like this, right inside my hot pink shirt, and I just pull out gold.
There you go.
Episode 1, right? Headhunter Stormtrooper was my number 1. And then, Crimson Guard Immortal. Frickin' love the Crimson Guard Immortal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's my friend Jason Packard's favorite figure, I think.
Yeah. We all know Jason, and he mains him as his costume.
Yeah.
And Jason, Jason was there at Joe Fest in his Crimson Guard Immortal, and we all hung out in our costumes. And his Crimson Guard Immortal in person up close is gorgeous.
Yep, I saw that at Joe Fest.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, that's Jason's self.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw him walk by the booth at Joe Fest, I was like, holy shit! I was like, because I figured I'd see a Crimson Guard, but I was like, Crimson Guard Immortal, that's a strong flex.
Yeah, and his Crimson Guard Immortal is freaking awesome. Yeah, really good. So yeah, we all did our thing at Joe Fest. But anyway, we're not really talking about Joe Fest, but Crimson Guard Immortal, JD, what do you got?
Look at it. It's so badass. I remember when I got it when I was a kid, and I've read complaints over the years about the gear and stuff. I didn't care. I just looked at the figure. I'm like, nope, that's awesome. I was never the biggest fan of the Crimson Guard when I was a kid. I know what they were going for, but I didn't like the Fred thing in the comics, and honestly, they just look kind of stodgy. But then I got this guy, and I'm like, oh, this is what I wish I would have been a bigger Crimson Guard fan if they'd look more decked out for the battlefield like these guys. This guy looks like an immovable object against an unstoppable force. The dude's badass looking.
Love it. Sal.
I just like that he has rocket launchers and a machine gun belt. Like, it's like when I look at Crimson Guard, like, and it's not to dog on them, but it's like they look fancy, I guess. They don't look like they're battle ready, but these are like guards, so you want them to have like the armor plating and things like that. So, because otherwise, I'm like the Crimson Guard, I'm like, were they protecting like a bank or something?
Yeah, I always saw the regular Crimson Guard as very ceremonial, Right. Somebody you'd see it like Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and this guy would be like, he'd be out patrolling. But, he's all about accuracy by volume. This dude right here, like that's where he's living. One thing that
firepower.
Yeah, exactly. Is it probing fire? One thing that I always liked about the Crimson Guard Immortal's weapon is they were very much like the guns of the robotic sentries in the Black Hole. How they had those guns, and I was kind of always drawn to this figure because of that.
That's cool.
Just the Black Hole. So, and then Photo Viper says, "Excellent figure. He's the heavy gunner in my Crimson Guard team." Yeah, there you go.
If you
fill that role, man.
Yeah. If you get the chance, the Fun School version is pretty much the same, but it has like silver on top of its head. So
yeah,
excellent.
Yeah.
Yep. And there you go, right there, Crimson Guard Immortal.
Hell yeah.
And then there's that quote on the back of the card about how they're all lawyers or accountants, and if they can't like beat you in a fight, they'll sue you or audit you.
Yeah, I always like that part.
Yeah. That's real cool. So again, as I will always try to do, I'm sorry guys, I actually have strep throat, so if you hear me hacking every now and again, I'm just trying to get through it.
Well, but, I'm impressed you showed up for this. Good work.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah, I know, punk bitch. I mean, I'll always show up. But anyway, so there's a modern version right there. I'm actually I'm not really a fan of the modern Crimson Guard Immortal.
It's the definition of these are repainted parts of a side of the head, and
that vest.
It doesn't the vest doesn't capture the body armor look. The legs, they were Snake Eyes legs initially, so they're too lean. Like look at the legs and the heavy combat boots that the original figure is wearing.
Yeah, right
he
there.
looks like he could step on the guy's bones and just crush him as he walks under. And that modern one, it doesn't capture any of the essence that the original figure had.
No, it doesn't.
Agreed. And he's expensive as shit. So.
Yeah, the thing I like about his old design is he has all this heavy firepower and still has a knife.
Yep.
So he's like, I will run out of ammo eventually, and I have this. So it's, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say about, I guess, the dichotomy between like a machine gun and rocket launchers, and then has a knife. But it's like he's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, the 5 C's of survival, right? You got to have a cutting tool. So
That's right.
yeah, he's good to go. But yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the modern one. It was like they kind of tried and then stopped trying. But
Oh, you just described what the club did best.
100%. Yeah. Once it all went to FSS, like we've talked about it before. So
yeah.
Anyway, Crimson Guard Immortal. So that is one of my dudes. As far as 90s go,
He's definitely a badass.
Crimson Guard Immortal. James, what do you got, dude? You got anything special for him?
I think. I mean, he obviously looks like a badass. I really like his accessories. I think those are the coolest thing about him. I will be a minority here, and I will say that I'm not really a huge fan of his helmet, and his like chest plate, the silver chest plate. I don't know. I just don't like it all that much. But I mean, as far as everything else, it's super awesome. He's got a great backstory, I mean, so.
Yeah. Hey, JD, I'm waiting for somebody to crawl down your staircase upside down, man. Your life is going weird. I'm waiting for like,
how cool would that be?
that would be
I don't
rad.
think
That
the
would be
house
cool.
is haunted, but it's possible.
Hey, whatever. I mean, that's cool. You just got company.
At the very least, I'm waiting for the cat to appear because she'll go up or down the stairs and then she'll sit right at the top and observe everything that's going on in the kitchen. So at some point, she might go up.
Sal, do you have cats?
I have no pets.
You're the only one of us without cats, dude.
Yeah, because
you're probably the smart one.
Yeah, I had a cat. She passed away a couple months ago now, and she was like 20 or something years old.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
That's all right.
I fucked that up. I'm sorry, dude.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
She had a happy life, so
well, good.
I had her a lot longer than most people have their animals, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
That's
all
good.
right. I'm sorry I dragged that down. Anyway, I apologize.
That's all right.
And there is no segue from that. There is like none at all. I just killed all that. So anyway, moving on. James,
what's up?
Boop.
Oh, Snow Serpent version 2. Yeah, that's like my favorite. So my favorite.
Is that why you
Serpent.
picked him?
Well, yeah, he's super cool. He comes with a sled. I mean, his accessories are awesome. He has like the most unique missile launcher. I mean, and it's one of the first ones that came out because 1991 was, the real year that they started, giving out the launchers to, the figures. So he just looks super cool. I love his orange and purple. I mean, the orange, purple, and white. And I'm kind of colorblind, so I mean that's taken a lot for me to say that. So.
And these pictures are actually off at 3D Joe's. These are
look at how cool
where they weren't
that is.
Updated.
I mean, that's just awesome. I mean, wow. So I mean, he's like one of the best, one of the most popular troop builders of the 1990s. He's getting kind of pricey. So.
Sal?
I have a couple, and you can't go wrong with a snowboard. So, I mean, they say it's a sled, but it's a snowboard.
Well, I obviously didn't, I never get it right. So.
No,
it's all good, dude.
But as much as I do like him, he is the pilot for me for, I think, my snow cat or something. I don't know. I kind of do what I want with my toys. But
you should.
I like version 3 just a little bit more. So, because it's identical in sculpt, 100% reused, but instead of white, he has blue, and like the orange around his boots and wrists is white. He has black gloves, black boots, and then a red mask. So,
dig it.
He's a great figure that is very hard to find because he was part of that Malloway, that 4-figure set, and he's far and away the most expensive figure in that set usually, and he is cool, but you can't army build with him, not unless you've got a lot of resources and a lot of access, because like if you go looking for the Snow Serpents on, like even if you're looking for the 90s one, you might find 1 or 2 of the Malloway ones, and you're going to find like 14 of these guys. So it's a great figure that I've never owned. No, this one I did. I had one when I was a kid. I never owned the later one, but my favorite thing about this was the snowboard is really elaborately sculpted, and it's got like the snake face at the front of it, and it's really well done.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he could stash it on his backpack. Didn't stop me from probably losing the rest of its accessories, but I proudly never lost the snowboard. So
Very cool. And Paul says that he has a small build of 4 version 2 Snow Serpents, so he's got like a fire team worth of them.
Well,
and
that's fancy.
Photo Viper says version 1 is more iconic in his opinion, but he loves the jet powered snowboard and spring-loaded gear. Very cool. There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I like the card art. You know, I also kind of like the fact that they did a different head sculpt, right? We talked about the Hella Viper having the Snow Serpent head. They didn't just slap the old head on it and call it good. So at least they gave him a different head. So I will definitely give him that. Anybody got anything else for Snow Serpent?
Nope.
No? Sal, are you good?
Yep, I'm all set. The one thing I'd like to add on his rifle, I like that they wrapped it in cloth. So I'm not sure how you would eject rounds out of that when it's wrapped in cloth, but I'll take it.
Poorly, my friend, poorly. That's how you do it. So you are getting in the way of the cycles of function of that weapon. Ooh, I don't even know what I did there. All right, here we go. Ready? 1992 Overkill. Talking Battle Commander, and I happen to have one on the card right there.
Nice.
This is one of the few carded old Joes that I actually have.
Open it. Open it.
That's cool.
Open it.
Open it.
No, dude.
Open it.
No.
Let her
It
rip,
was a
man.
gift. I'm not
Tear it
not
up.
opening that.
Open it. All right,
Oh.
fine. Don't
I'm not going to
open it.
open it right there.
If I had it, I would open it, but I don't have one. So
I got a Sonic Fighter dial tone.
I
in the
opened up
same
mine.
cabinet. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm not opening it. It was a gift, and I'm leaving it carded.
And mine was a gift too. And I opened it.
No, that's cool. No, I'm choosing to leave that one on the card. I don't.
Cool, man.
I don't display O-rings in this room, so I would open them and then I would stash them somewhere, and then it kind of defeats the purpose of how I have them displayed.
Or you could
Right on.
open it and you could send it to me, and I'll display it somewhere.
Okay, yeah, we could just do that. That'd be fine.
All right, cool. I'll
All right.
send you my address.
Awesome.
All right. There you go. Opened.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
nice.
You actually did it.
Dude, that's awesome.
I did. I did. I just
Proud
did
of
it.
you. I'm so proud
Are
of
you
you.
proud of me?
Dad. I'm so
Wow.
proud
All
of
right.
you.
So anyway, so we're gonna talk about
Wow, we just
1992
turned this
Overkill.
Wow, this just went like a weird Russian roulette type direction. I didn't expect
Right.
that.
Oh yeah, comes with a figure stand right there.
Holy shit!
Yep. Holy shit. There it is. I did it. So I
Holy
did it
shit.
for all to see. And then there's this rifle.
That's awesome. Awesome.
We
Vickman
did,
says
we did it to take the batteries out to stop them from exploding. That's what
Yeah.
we're talking
oh, and then Paul says pop those chest guns. Yeah. There you go.
That was
God,
such a cool feature.
I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna
Oh,
break it.
please don't break those.
Such a
I'm
cool
trying.
feature.
Hold on.
I've never even opened mine up because I'm afraid I'm gonna break them because they're like so
Yeah, so-
fragile.
Hey, Paul, I'm going to leave this alone and I'll show the photo because I don't know if you can hear it creaking as I'm doing it. But
Yeah.
Victor says change the batteries. I know for a fact these batteries don't work. So anyway, there he is.
Actually, mine still work.
I opened him for everyone.
That is amazing.
That's awesome.
1992 Talking Battle Commander Overkill.
Oh, Chad, that makes me happy.
Awesome, man. And then look at Paul. He's like, no way. That's awesome. Right. Cool.
Wow.
Glue it back.
Cool,
no, I'm not going to glue it back. Anyway, but I got this and I am all about all the Joe brochures. So that's cool to get that. Right?
Nice.
I definitely keep those. So there it is. Right. I hope
too.
Anyway, back on topic. Now that I did that, and for the love of God, I'm wearing a hot pink shirt with the collar popped, and I'm just owning it. So the file card on Overkill, right over here, has him as experimental prototype for the 3rd generation of Battle Android Trooper, and also that he is the Battle Android Trooper leader. Now, I'm going to tie this into something later, but if any of you read the Devil's Due comic, they have him as something else. And we're going to put a pin in that, and we'll come back to that topic later. And then Vickman says, it's Chad, the unboxing show. It is the Chad, sir. Tonight it's the Chad. I am the Chad. And then thanks, Phil. Phil says I'm the man. And then have a shout out to Kid. I actually don't drink, my friend. I haven't had a drink in 16 years, but that's a topic for another conversation.
Well, congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about cats anymore either because I screwed that up.
If it helped you, I've been sober since 2018, which is
hell yeah, my friend.
But
nice. I've been sober since 2017.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
Still working.
JD's half drunk right now, so
I don't drink either. So it doesn't do anything for me.
In the Exorcist house.
Well, no, because usually it makes me tired. Frankly, I don't need any help being tired.
No, right? Not at our age, right? You just like sit down and you're like, yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah,
so anyway,
turn something on. I'm like, yep, I'm taking that. Sure enough.
So welcome to episode 2 of Shit Talking with Chad and James and our friends, and that's really all we're doing now is we're just talking shit. So anyway, let's talk about Overkill. What do you guys got for Overkill?
He's super badass. I mean, he's one of like 3 talking, figures that came out in 1992. He's probably the most coolest of all of them besides the Cobra Commander version. But he's got great accessories. I love his colors. He's got like plenty of neon on him, like neon green. He's got gold on his legs, gold on his helmet his head or whatever, and he's just super cool. I will say one thing: I don't like how fragile his chest gun is. Most of them tend to break now when you open them up, so you just have to be really, really careful with those.
Would you be surprised that as you were saying that, I was over here like fucking with mine? Would you be surprised? That I was
oh, really?
That's why I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so yeah,
at your own risk.
There's his chest guns right there. So, Sal, what do you got for Overkill, buddy?
I'm actually looking for mine real quick. But I don't know. I like him. I got mine a while ago. I've never been a fan. Let me get closer on my microphone.
You don't want to sound like you're in the toilet?
Yeah, no, I'm on the other side of the room looking at my collection. I know I have him, but
James.
Oh
God, dude!
Did it break?
Did you see it, Sal?
Did it break? Because it's super tiny on the screen.
No, it didn't break.
It didn't break. Okay.
The thing I like about them is their devotion to using the battery pack and making it like, I mean, you can take it off. You have to like take it apart and then unscrew it from the figure. Yeah. But I like their devotion to using the pack and not having it just be a regular backpack and it using batteries. Because it was around that time I had I think the ribbon was really popular. Like you'd feed a ribbon through something and you'd rip it, it would make a noise. Yep. So I like that they actually went with batteries and sounds instead of just having that like thin red ribbon that would go through things to make noise. So,
Paul, where you at, dude? Where you at, dog? Where you at? Oh, look at.
Oh,
See,
cool.
I fixed him. I saved him. I just popped it off because I pulled too hard. Anyway, cool.
Yeah, mine doesn't even have the green thing anymore. I thought it did, but it doesn't.
No?
No, I was going to go get mine so I could risk breaking mine so you wouldn't break yours, but it doesn't even have it anymore.
Well, I
It's
appreciate
already
this.
broken.
I appreciate you trying to save it. No, he's good. Look, he's good. It's good. I put it back on. So there he is. Right there's his little chest guns, and we'll fold him up. Yeah, he's good to go. And then Paul said, "Talk that shit," right? And then Drew said, "If you're into DC Comics, he looks like Deadshot and Wild Dog had a kid." Yeah,
he does. Look
definitely
just
look
like him.
at that face for sure, 100% for sure. Yeah, real cool. And then, of course, there's a modern one. JD, I know you got some thoughts on the modern Overkill, which isn't based on this version of Overkill.
I like the 2003 version they did, but he wasn't a robot. He was a cyborg, which is okay. It's just, it's not the same character to me because this guy, my favorite thing about Overkill, the original, when I was a kid, was it was so very robotic looking. Because that's one of the things that I feel like the original Battle Android Trooper that everybody loves from the 80s, it was wearing clothes. It wasn't, you could see the robotic arm, but between the bulbous, enormous head that he had on, it could have been a helmet. And if it wasn't for the silver arms being on display, it didn't look like a robot. This guy was robot from top to bottom. And the modern one from 2003 was, it was a cyborg, and it was a very cool figure. Not the same thing. They're two different maybe iterations of the same idea within Cobra's hierarchy, but maybe he named himself after, maybe the original robot leader got killed and the cyborg named himself after it. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just not the same.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. Are you scratching your microphone? There's a huge difference between this guy and that guy, right? And it's one thing to look at it on screen, but like when you look at them side by side, like totally different figures. But anyway, Overkill. So yeah, that's modern's based on the 2003 Spy Troops, and then there's your original Overkill, which looks like Deadshot and Mean Dog had a baby. And Paul said that's dope. I appreciate that. I don't really know what we're talking about. I guess the Overkill. And then Ryan loves the robotic look. What else you guys got for Overkill here? Go ahead.
I will say, because of like the chest gun and all the parts, one of the things they can do with the classified line, I know everybody loves the new classified Battle Android Trooper. I don't have one. I passed on it, but same hang up in the 6-inch scale that I had with the original. I don't find it that interesting. I like Bat version 2 better, but I like the idea that this Overkill may have been like intended to be a third version of the Bat, and that's cool. But I gotta say, all the details that they're getting into these classified figures, oh my god, this Overkill version 1 based on this figure would be amazing in the new scale. I would love to see it. Because they do the chest gun again, and it would pop out, and they could really do wonders with it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And I guess they just announced Big Ben and Range Viper.
Yes,
right. It's like another one of their pipeline. Like at some point, we're going to make 1 million figures, but it took us 9 months to put out 4 figures, which I'm not going to get into that shit because I will rip on classified all day long. But what I said. If they want to wow me, make a 6-inch Headhunter Stormtrooper. That's how you wow me right there.
That would be really cool.
My co-host Brian, one of his favorite things are the specialty Vipers, the different classes that Cobra's had over the years. He's on a collecting kick right now where he's trying to get all the different troopers and Vipers. And, he was happy with the Alley Viper, but he just wants more specialty Vipers. And one of his very favorites is the Range Viper. And when that news came out the other day, I tagged him in the post and I sent him a text and I'm like, dude, Hasbro's granting one of your classified wishes. He's like, what? He texted me back. I'm like, dude, just go look on Facebook. He's like, very happy about this. I'm like, I knew you would be. I'm like, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the Range Viper. But just looking at what they've done with like Major Blood and the upcoming Serpentor, and this Overkill, oh my God, I dream of it.
Yeah, that would probably be really cool. Low Light is my all-time favorite Joe. And, they announced they were doing Low Light, and I think my interest went from 0 to 2 and back down to 0 in like 5 minutes. Just like, yeah, whatever. What do you think, Sal?
Think about Overkill or the classified stuff?
That whole conversation about a 6-inch Overkill and classified in general.
I don't really collect classified, so I think
I don't either.
10 of them, maybe.
I have one, just one.
I like where they're going now, but too little, too late in a lot of places for me. They're still not getting the hands correct. Like they're almost all their characters are right-handed, but their right hand has a hinge for in and out instead of up and down, like it should have. But their left hand has the hinge for up and down. But their left-handed character, Crocmaster, his holsters on the left side. His hinge on his left hand is in and out instead of up and down. So I've pretty much given up on them.
They're not without flaws. One of the ones is some of the hand shapes. I can't. They've all got the trigger fingers out, and all the weapons have the spot where you can put the finger through. But then you gotta stretch the fingers out the same way and hold it.
I've noticed that too.
Get a proper grip. All right, that drives me a little bit nuts.
It's kind of the same with a lot of the 4-inch modern figures back here too. Like, and those, because they're so small, like I find myself using tweezers to take the finger out and put it in the. Yeah,
well, and if you have to stretch it too much, then the hand pops out, and it's like crap. I'm not. Once the gun's in there, I'm like, well, I'm not taking that out ever again.
Look at that, Sal. Look who's here. Scuba Pete.
Oh, Scuba.
What's up, Scuba? Very cool. Very cool. So, before we completely delaminate and derail into classified conversation, which I would love for all of us to come back and on a non-Neon at Night show, just discuss G.I. Joe currently. And I would love for that. So if you guys want to do that, by all means, we'll do that.
Dude, I'm always up for G.I. Joe. Always.
Hell yeah, dude. And then Phil says, what's up, Scuba? A little scuba mask. Oh, cool. All right. Hey, Scuba, you missed it, man. I opened my carded Overkill like a couple minutes ago. So I just ripped him right off the card because peer pressure is real, dude.
I was being obnoxious about it.
I know that's some real shit right there.
Yeah.
Peer pressure. All right. So before we go on, since we're kind of all just chatting anyway, right? Before we go on to other stuff, before we move on to vehicles and possibly a playset, which is obviously going to be a playset, right? Because I'm shitty at that. So, JD, favorite 90s bad guy? Because we're talking bad guys tonight. Who's your favorite 90s bad guy?
Character or figure? Not the same thing.
Okay, well then break it down. Go with both.
Okay, my favorite bad one. Okay.
Peer pressure.
My. Oh my God, this light's driving me fucking crazy.
Because you live with the Exorcist, bro.
Oh my God. Well, the last time it came on,
water up in there.
No, it's just
toss it around, man.
All right, so let's see. My favorite bad guy figure from the 90s. I'm gonna have to go with Metalhead version 2. I love that figure. It was everything the first Metal. Metalhead's character in the D cartoon was so distinctive and so memorable. Dude was completely nuts. I'd look at the figure based on the same, and I'm like, no, he's so stodgy looking. He's got this real refined goatee. He doesn't look crazy. He doesn't look nuts. Then you look at version 2 of Metalhead, and you can see that he's got this.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it. I adore Metalhead version 2. Like, he was nuts, just like Metalhead's supposed to be. I love that figure. And I love that on his file card, we find out that one of his hobbies is a hockey fight analyst. I'm like, he watches hockey just for the fights. It's hysterical.
I guess my co-host just quit. So that's your favorite character or favorite figure?
That's my favorite figure of the 90s, definitely.
Character?
Okay. I think my favorite character, just going one of the new characters that did was I'm gonna have to go with Cobra Blackstar, which I've never had, but his file card intrigues me. Is he a trooper? I don't know. Maybe they left it ambiguous. Or is he an alien? I think he is an alien underneath all this armor, some kind of intergalactic pilot. But I love it. I love that you could use him either way. He's such a cool figure. The Black Star Empire that they mention on the file card had a lot of really cool implications that maybe he was just the first representative that the Cobra Star Brigade had encountered. Maybe there was more of them. I mean, yeah, we saw the lunatics, aliens and stuff like that, but which was great. Seriously.
Man.
And the lunatics was cool because it's a huge expansion on this G.I. Joe and Cobra in space idea, but man, Black Star, there was just some sort of allure to it that I had to fulfill, that could only be fulfilled in the imagination because he never showed up in the media. The comic was gone by then. Star Brigade was in the comic, or excuse me, the cartoon was gone by then, and Star Brigade was in the comic, but they never used Black Star. They used the early Star Brigade stuff. So yeah, he is one very cool character that I kind of wish they could have done a little bit more with him, but so it goes. I like some open book characters like that.
Dig it. And then so Photo Viper says his favorite is Cesspool, and then Metalhead version 2 is a good figure. Also matches well next to Voltar, which is
also a good point. I didn't think about it, but you're right. He fits in with the Iron Grenadiers side of the flamboyant part of the Destro's operation there.
All right. And since we all know that peer pressure is real, right? Because we saw that firsthand, right? Live in Technicolor. One of you better say Vapor.
Do you want me to lie?
No, Sal, I want you to tell me the truth. Go. Sal, who is your favorite 90s bad guy?
It's a toss-up between three. My instinct is Nitro Viper. He's my favorite Viper, hands down. He, as far as I know, he's also the only real American hero figure to not have a file card.
He was. One of the toy magazines a few years later was officially licensed by Hasbro to provide a file card for him. But yeah, in the toy line, yeah, it does not. Without going really geeky and getting that magazine, yeah, you didn't know it could have been anything because he didn't have a file card.
So that's my favorite, probably my favorite, but in a very close amorphous top three, like any kind of rotating, it would either be one of the Monstro Vipers from the Mega Marines, the kind of not the one with the tentacles, but the beastly looking one, and it's technically a real American hero, but it came out in '95 after the line ended. but it'd be Predacon version 2 from Mexico.
Yep.
So.
Those weird 95 stragglers.
Yeah. I mean, Predacon himself doesn't look bad, but he's, white and blue, but the Mexican version's like red and black. And I'm like, he's anything with 4 arms, I'm sold. So.
Nice.
I've never had Predacon. I want Predacon. Holy shit, the prices of that thing on eBay. And it's not even just recent. Like, for going back a few years, I haven't been able to get one. He's an amazing figure that I don't own, and I don't think I ever will.
Yeah, I found one at Joe Fest. I was like, I'm going to get a Predacon at Joe Fest. The only one they had was the Mexican release version. They wanted like $1,500 for him. I was like, I don't want that one anymore.
I could not find a Crimson Guard Immortal at Joe Fest to save my life. And I looked for some Red Shadows stuff too. Couldn't find any of that shit.
Yeah.
So Scuba Pete said he just picked up Voltar complete last weekend. And JD got snatched by the Exorcist, apparently. And then Phil from Treasures for Triggers says that he loves Voltar. And then Scuba says Treasures, as soon as saw him in the case, had to have him. That's real cool.
Yeah, Voltar was technically one of my first G.I. Joes. So I have an older brother by a large margin, and he had some Joes. I looked it up later because I had both of them, and it was Muskrat and Voltar came in a 2-pack. So he must have had that.
The Ultimate Enemy set.
So.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, my favorite bad guy villain of the 90s, actually I have 2 of them. I can't really, I'm just going to have to go with 2. First of all, it's going to have to be Cesspool. Super awesome. And then it's going to have to be Metalhead version 1. Because when I was a kid, he was my favorite character on the cartoon. So, he's always been one of my favorite villains. And I like him so much, I even painted him. So
I was just going to say, you did an awesome painting of him, too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That painting perfectly captures the nuts character that he was.
Yeah.
In the cartoon.
Ooh.
Right. Thank you. So he probably is my favorite, and Cesspool's probably my number 2. So yeah.
Very cool. I dig it.
Thanks.
Do you guys have a least favorite? Because you can't always be on top, right? You gotta have a least favorite. What do you got? Somebody.
Let me make sure he's a 90s figure. I'm not sure if he is. Hold on.
Hey, James.
Yeah.
Scuba Pete says that's fantastic. Captured the Mad Bomber look with a.
He is.
Oh, right on.
So, even though I love
the
Neon,
thank you.
Eels version 2 is my least favorite. So, because it's not the neon, it's the design of the figure. So I just the ridges along his wetsuit, and when you stand him next to the Cobra Eel version 1, it's like, how far did we stray from God to get to this?
You know what's funny, Sal? I think we're gonna come back around to that eel in a little bit.
The coolest thing about that eel was the robot shark that it came with.
The shark is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the shark is what made that figure, and they just sort of they wanted to put the robot shark, so they packed in a figure with the robot shark.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think the shark is pretty much
least favorite when you're done talking about the shark.
Least favorite, it's actually probably I'm gonna have to go with Sal. It's gonna have to be the eel version 2. I never really liked the whole the sculpt of the figure at all. I do like the shark. I do like how it can clip onto his back and everything, and fires a missile. I just don't like everything else about him. So I don't like his colors. I don't like that's about it. That's all I got.
JD, least favorite?
I really very strongly dislike the 1994 Viper. And it's not even just a matter of I don't like it as a Cobra Viper update. I don't. It's terrible. But as a figure on its own, the club repainted it in the Iron Grenadiers colors, and they called it the Iron Anvil. And while it still looked cooler in those colors, it just reminded me that I'm like, I don't like this figure. I don't like the sculpt. I don't like the details. It's got a lot going on with the design. Lots of cool details, none of which work really together. It's not a fan of the 94 Viper. I've seen custom repaints where people use, the blue and red from the original Viper, and I'm like, no, it still doesn't look like Viper. And I feel like they could have, I don't know. They could have gone a different direction with it. It didn't necessarily need to be a Viper, but you look at all those production paintings of figures that never happened, and I'm like, well, how the hell did this get approved and some of these guys didn't? Not a fan.
Yeah. Hey, James, real quick. So, well, first of all, so Phil says, right, love the 90 Rock Viper. And then this is for you, James, right here from our buddy Paul.
Oh, that's cool,
Paul
man.
says that your really art is one of his favorite pieces in his collection.
That is so cool. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's real cool. Paul and I were just chatting earlier because he was completely confused. And he's like, hey, are we having an admin chat? And I'm like, no, dude, get out of my face.
Well, thanks a lot, Paul. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's real cool. What do we got here?
He's a great guy.
Yeah, Paul's real cool indeed. All right, so let's move on. Now we're going to get into vehicles.
Who was your favorite?
Ooh,
my favorite Headhunter Stormtrooper.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. That is my favorite 90s Cobra Headhunter Stormtrooper by far. Least favorite, I got a couple actually, but probably EO version 3. But anywho, Paralyzer. Thanks for putting me on the spot, Sal. Paralyzer, let's go.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I know that's what you do. You freaking sweat me, man. When we were hanging out at Joe Fest, you're just sweating me. All right, Sal, Paralyzer.
I know nothing about this vehicle.
The 1991 Paralyzer?
Nope. It was I was not very much of a vehicle kid. So
okay, fair enough. Well, there it is. It stands up on its treads
in all of its glory. Although it's missing all the decals on that one.
Kind of, not really. Like they're there. It's just I did a left and a right view, and I wanted to show it with the treads up like that. Hey man, we work with what we're given. Carson does great work.
Oh yeah, of course he does. I know.
Yeah, and then there's the Street Fighter 2 Sonic Boom Tank. Yeah, which is it's hard to say it for me, but I actually have this version. I don't have the Paralyzer version. I have the Sonic Boom version because I like.
So when it comes to these treads, what do you think the tactful advantage would be?
I like how you said that. Your little play on words. There.
That just looks super cool and super badass.
I wanted an excuse to make that pun. That's all.
Yeah, you just wanted to because you came up with it on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I really didn't think about that kind of stuff. I just played with it. I don't know. I didn't really think about all that.
Vickman says it looks like a masked vehicle. I could get behind that. Kind of does.
A little bit.
Perfect for the incinerators. But yeah, there it is. That's the Paralyzer. It's not a bad vehicle. Like I've seen some wicked customs of Paralyzers too. Especially take that Sonic Boom one there. You kind of change the weapons out and you do it up in October Guard. But yeah, there it is.
I've never had the Sonic Boom one. I've had many of the orange ones, the Paralyzers, but it's just totally
Sal.
cool.
Sal. Ooh, puns all day. Look at that.
That's right. There it is. Wow. I'm also thinking of like just the sheer amount of tinnitus the driver must have since their head is right next to that double cannon.
Oh yeah,
you know, man. Come on. Department of Defense, tinnitus is real, and it is not service related.
That's right. Somehow.
Yeah, somehow it's never service related.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's the Paralyzer. James, you gonna gush on this thing, man? It's your vehicle.
Oh yeah, I was just kind of waiting for my turn. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I like I like how the treads can go up and down to elevate the vehicle. probably doesn't have any kind of a tactical advantage with that, but I don't know. I just think it's super cool.
It's an elevated firing platform. Come on now.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I'm not really too keen on the color. I like the Sonic Boom tank a lot. I mean I like that version a whole lot better. But I don't know if they could have done a different color other than orange. I would have been on board with it. So, but besides that, it's pretty cool.
Maybe it's in case the driver sees a mouse, they can go up on it.
Yeah.
One of those endangered species where they're out doing field training and they're like, oh, gotta go up.
Like if the tank, like if the belly was set on the ground, like the chassis was close to the ground, I could be like, oh, maybe it's for like landmines to have a smaller surface area. But even with the treads normal, it's got a lot of clearance on it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're applying real-world tactics, techniques, and procedures to crazy-ass Cobra vehicles, but I would think that I kind of having survived an IED blast, generally, especially in an explosively formed penetrator kind of situation, the further you are away from it, the worse it is. So I would think that if you elevated like that, you would get this sucker launched into outer space. But anyway, so real quick, Photo Viper talking about favorite, least favorite, said least favorite is either Disco Coco, yeah, buddy, or Eel version 2. Eel version 3 was a slight improvement in the purple, but the sculpt looks more spaceman than scuba guy. Yeah, we're going to beat up on that Eel here in a second. And then Chris, what's up, Chris? So I guess Chris just popped in or just decided to chime in.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Standard Cobra vehicle construction with the drivers in harm's way, but still a cool tank overall. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
I don't know. Cross Country's Havoc. He is sitting right on top there. There's nothing around him. He's just going to get picked up.
I mean, everybody beats up on the whole open cockpit, open canopy thing, but I mean, Wolverine, Mobat. I mean, it's just kind of the G.I. Joe aesthetic. It's cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Phil's talking about the box art. Yeah, that box art is awesome.
Oh,
now, for those that have it, I'm assuming that where the Crimson Guard Immortal's at, that doesn't swivel or pivot.
It swivels 360.
It does, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
It elevates up and down, and it goes all the way around.
All right. Yeah, the images of the toy didn't really look that way, so I was like, if they'd put like, I don't know, when it went up on its treads, if it had a way to like do a 360 turn, that'd be kind of cool.
All right, I like Scuba Pete's joke.
Yeah, I know that's what I was just laughing about.
Says, don't try it. I have the high ground.
Scuba's on fire.
With a Star Wars prequel meme. So.
Oh yeah, any Revenge of the Sith, yeah, it's gold right there. So, thank you, Scuba.
Yep. So I don't know what the purpose was, but now it has the high ground, and now I'm never gonna unsee that, and I love that feature more. I had that when I was a kid. I loved that tank.
Yeah,
the Obi-Wan, and this is the Anakin.
Yeah, none of the details bothered me. The color never bothered me. Still doesn't bother me. It's not very Cobra-like, but who cares? I never had the Sonic Boom tank, but I had the parallel. I don't have one now. I wish I did. But my only lament with it when I was a kid was I wish it came with a driver. I always liked when the vehicles had drivers.
Yeah, me too.
I kind of wished it did, but it didn't stop me from using this vehicle all the time. It became one of my main Cobra vehicles then.
It's a good vehicle. It's kind of creeping toward that Cobra Rat, right? Where they started cutting corners and next thing you know, there's no bottom to the vehicle. It's a little bit of an in-between. Like,
yeah,
I like it, but there are a couple of features on this vehicle where I'm like, I can see they're getting dangerously close to the Cobra Rat.
I think it was Photo Viper that had the comment about getting robot legs for it. And
that's it. It's
in my mind's eye, just having legs that could collapse with wheels on them, but then if it like had legs that could stand up, it would almost look like the ATTE that the clones drove.
Yep.
So it'd look really cool if they'd done legs instead.
Well, and as soon as he threw that comment up, I was like, oh, I have that ATST walker that Sal sent me in the mail. I wonder how funny that would look if I slapped him on there.
Yep. Well, I mean, I sent it for parts basically, because that's pretty much all it's good for.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna do crazy stuff with that thing. It's in the other room waiting. So cool. Paralyzer, 1991. Anybody else?
No.
Going once, going twice. All right. So this next one I picked. And speaking of box art, and I love that box art. Look at that thing.
That's awesome.
So the Cobra Liquidator Jet. So this jet, I knew I wanted to talk about it. I never had it as a kid. I just picked it up. Shit, James, do you remember? What was that, like 6 months ago, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right around there that I just picked it up. And the stickers, they're all paper stickers, and they were actually still in great condition, which is very rare because it's a water shooting.
It's a water toy.
Paper stickers.
Yeah.
So paper stickers and water shooting gimmick do not go well.
They don't.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So they actually stayed in really good condition, which I was happy to see. And so I knew I wanted to talk about the Liquidator. I really like this plane. And I kind of asked the question, is this intentional? Right. So this is episode 1 of the 5-parter of the Mass Device. These are the planes that Major Blood and some Cobra, I guess, generic pilot guys, right? Everybody could fly anything in G.I. Joe, right?
Yeah.
These are the planes that they fly in to take out the brand new Sky Strikers that just got delivered to the G.I. Joe team. And so I asked Carson, is this on purpose? Right. And so it became this conversation about, well, some people say it was, and some people say it wasn't. And the Liquidator is based on a Saab jet. And this thing kind of looks like a MiG. And the fighter in the original comics that Cobra had when they still just had like generic shit was a MiG. And so it turned into this long drawn out, maybe yes, maybe no, was the ultimate answer. And I promised Carson that I would try to articulate that better, but there's the answer. Maybe yes, maybe no. But to me, it kind of looks like a yes, even though
I could see it.
Sunbow had long been out of the game, but this could have been inspired by what came in the Mass Device. So I just kind of wanted to chat about that. I don't know. You guys have opinions?
No, but there's definitely some similar design characteristics. I could see it. I do like the idea that
specifically chose these angles. Yeah, that's why I specifically chose those angles. So sorry. And then Pete says Liquidator box art. Yeah, Scuba, absolutely, 100%.
I've never owned.
It's an awesome looking jet.
Wow.
Yeah,
James, do you have this plane?
Never owned that one.
I actually did for a short time. I made like a video for it and put it on one of my pages, and did some talking about it and everything. And it didn't squirt like the Storm Eagle did. So there's like a problem with it. I ended up selling it, but yeah, I did have it for a short time. So.
Did we lose Chad?
I think we lost Chad. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's just us three.
That's right.
I've never owned this jet nor the Joe counterpart to it. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I've ever seen either of them like held one in person. They're cool looking, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, these ones they were. Yeah, I didn't.
They share the same missiles.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. They share the same missiles as the Storm Eagle, I think, and so I mean it's kind of generic, but as far as the jet, it just looks badass. Definitely.
Hey.
Hey.
What's going on? So I went to go get this, right? To go actually get my plane off the wall behind my Terrordrome, and I didn't want to be unprofessional and stand up on a camera, so I went to
like what James did.
Yeah, I went to just do this and stop my camera, right? And I actually I killed everything. So yay, way to go me. But anyway, yeah. So I got it down. If anybody wanted to see it, so there's my Liquidator.
That is super cool. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that vehicle. It's really cool looking, but
it's a great plane.
Yeah.
That didn't have a pilot with it, right?
No.
No,
Because
no.
Ace came with the Joe counterpart to it, right?
The Storm Eagle?
That
Yeah.
didn't have a driver either, or a pilot.
No, the Storm Eagle didn't have a pilot. No.
All right. So wait, there were two versions of 90s Ace. One came with the Battlecopter. What did the green repaint of him come with?
It's on the tip of my tongue. It was another jet. I just can't remember the name of it.
Okay. All right. Maybe I'm just mixing up the jets.
Shoot. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the jet.
Yeah. And then Scuba Pete says it makes him think of Jester's A4 Skyhawk from Top Gun. Speaking of Top Gun, if you haven't seen Maverick, ooh, you guys are killing yourselves. And then Vickman says, cool design, never got one. I said, no, you didn't lose me because I'm a freaking idiot. I killed my everything. And then Photo Viper says, cool jet, don't own it. Definitely get one someday. Yeah, they're not very expensive. They're priced really well.
They're like $25 usually.
Yeah. And then Chris says Liquidator and Storm Eagle own both, sold them. Kind of cheaply made, was harder than hell to get a pilot in it with a cramped interior. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, the cockpit is a little it's
all right.
It's not that the canopy's huge, but the actual cockpit, if you can see it, it's just a little molded piece.
All right, so
yeah, it's tiny.
Here's a question that's the type of question that they'd ask over on G.I. Joe Berg.
It was the Ghost Striker.
If you were to assign a pilot, trooper, or character to fly that, like let's say that was a special plane that there was only one or two of, who would you assign to fly it? A trooper, a person, or would you make a new character?
I'd probably just kit bash somebody.
I'd probably say the Strato Viper.
As a person who was never a big fan of the Strato Viper because the legs drove me crazy, I didn't like them. It colored my opinion on those in general, but I don't know. Cobra never, other than Wild Weasel and Vapor, and then the Gyro, they didn't have a lot of, but Cobra, they didn't have any other than the guy. Well, maybe the Heli Viper, but no, we've already determined he belongs in the Mamba. Yeah, you know what? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who I'd give this plane to.
I would kit bash somebody. That's what I would do.
Yeah, you know what? I probably would too.
Yeah.
I'd probably put a different pilot together.
Make a whole brand new character, a whole brand new, figure.
Paul's saying something about 1997 General Hawk and a jet.
Oh, I asked when I asked about Ace. Yeah, there was a 97 green repaint of 90s Ace with the Rattler repaint that they did, but no, yeah, but there was a green one in the 90s too. In the what was it, 93? Maybe it was 94 with the Chris said it was the Ghost Striker came with Ace.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, never had that one either, so that's why I missed it.
So there's a Firefox reference right there. So Scuba would make a Clint Eastwood and steal the plane.
Nice.
Ooh, look at Chris, right? That's actually good. Interrogator.
Oh
Interrogator
yeah,
version
for sure.
2.
For sure.
You know what?
Because it is the
I'd
90s.
throw a Headhunter Stormtrooper in there. How about that?
I was gonna say that, but I was like, I don't know.
And I'd cover it with spikes, all Mad Max style.
Right. I didn't want to besmirch your favorite character by putting him in such a lame plane.
You think this plane's lame?
I don't like squirt gimmicks.
Oh man, screw the squirt gimmick. The plane itself, like the lines. Okay, well, opinions, right? That's cool.
Opinions.
I respect your opinion, my friend.
So
even though it's bullshit.
The one you held up.
I know, right?
The pictures, I don't know. I think it's the pictures because the one you held up looks a lot better than those, but I think it's just the pictures.
Yeah, it's a good plane, man. It's a good sized plane.
Pretty awesome.
Well, it's the underside. So I didn't see all those missiles because they're kind of like faded out there at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I thought it just had the 2 missiles and a squirt gimmick, and I was like, seriously. But then when you held yours up and I saw all those, I'm like, maybe.
I kind of always look at the squirt gimmick as just like painting on the fuselage, just the way that it's kind of in there to be designed like the fuselage.
That shoot me here kind of thing.
Yeah. So I made the Transformers Seekers out of the other plane. For some reason, I just had a moment. But I made the Seekers out of those, and I painted all this, and you can't even tell that it's actually supposed to be a squirt gun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I made Thundercracker, Starscream, and Skywarp, and they look perfect.
Yeah.
But the Storm Eagles, and you don't even notice it. The only reason you really notice it is because it's like, the color. It's totally different.
I think the guy's name is Knocked Up, like Dreadnought, like KNOK, Knocked Up. I think
Knocked Up Customs. Yeah.
I think
I've heard him.
I think he either did one, or I'd like to see him do one of those all chromed up.
He had a bunch of his chrome stuff at Joe Fest.
Right.
And then he also had that Dreadnought Terrordrome, and we were talking about all that.
Mm-hmm. I know he had a lot, like, other than the Phantom that Michael got, none of it, like, registered when I was looking at it. So he may have had one of these, but if he hasn't, I think that'd be a cool one to be all chromed up. Yeah,
Michael also got that Conquest, the Chrome Conquest, too.
Yeah, he got a Chrome Conquest the year before, and then he got a Tiger Force Sky Striker.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so are we done beating up on the Liquidator? You guys got anything else for it? Anybody in the chat?
If you have one and you're able to, make sure there's no black mold where that water stayed.
Yeah. I ran watered down bleach through mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. That's actually, thank you. That's a very good public service announcement from our good friend Sal.
Yeah.
2 Cents Toys. All right. So he's our environmental control.
Yep, that's why I would have been the Eco Warrior, I guess.
Hell yeah, you would. Most of the Eco Warriors look like mask characters to me. But we already talked about that. We kind of picked that up.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I'm not a fan of the Eco Warriors Deep Six. It doesn't look like Deep Six. I'm convinced.
You better watch out behind you.
This light is driving me crazy.
You got something going on there, buddy.
No, it's motion activated. It's like an outdoor light that goes in the kit. So
we're just fucking with you, dude. It's cool.
Well, no, it's great when it's dark and you're coming down the stairs to go to the bathroom. It's apparently really annoying when I'm doing a podcast in the kitchen. I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was saying. Oh well, it happened.
Yeah, we're go, James.
Oh, we're just messing with you.
No, it'll come back eventually, or it won't. I don't know. That's cool.
All right. I'm sure it will in like 5 minutes. We're gonna be talking about the next vehicle, and you're gonna go, "Oh yeah, that thing I was talking about." You were talking about Eco Warriors, and then the Exorcist was trying to come up behind you, and then I said the F word. And...
Yeah, I don't like the Eco Warriors Deep Six. He's one I'm convinced was supposed to be somebody else. He just doesn't look like Deep Six. So Deep Six version 2 is what I've got with my Eco Warriors tattoo. I know it doesn't belong, but Deep Six version 2 was awesome. And it's bright green repaint, the Malloway, that was awesome too. So, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from with.
I gotta say, I really like my Deep Six version 3.
Yeah, that's a great figure as somebody that's not Malcolm Willoughby Deep Six. I can't. He just doesn't.
I just love the whole face thing, the whole flat face.
It's cool, but just name it something else, and I'm happy with it.
Hey, you two with the false advertisement talking G.I. Joe's on Bad Guy Night. Shh, stop it.
Oh, sorry.
Stop it.
All right. Yes.
Stop.
All right. We've been scolded.
Sal, get in here, man. You got to back me up, dude.
That's right. I was gonna say if the killer whale was the normal version, that's probably would have done a lot of justice. That dolphin was stupid. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they didn't just repaint him as a villain with the killer whale. I mean, seems kind of like a no-brainer to me, but whatever.
Look, the dolphin's name was Sinbad, and I
we're talking about Cobras. we're talking about Cobras, and now you start talking about the whale, and then I'm going to go off on a little tangent about how they never re-released the whale, not in a Tiger Force, not in anything else, not in a stupid Python Patrol stole it.
I know,
they
really
freaking
really
HasLab of it. Like, where is my goddamn new whale?
Well, wait. No, they repainted the whale for Night Force.
Oh, not Night Force. I'm talking like after that, like something.
Night Force should have been a Cobra thing.
Well, they were going to repaint the whale in 1995 or 1996. They just
That's right, because I've seen the production, but they never did though. Like, you should have made a modern whale. Anyway, so see now, Scuba Pete's on Deep Six version 3, and you guys and your mutiny. We're moving on. Here we go. We're talking Cobra, not Joe. We're talking 94 Cobra Power Fighter. James, this is your pick.
Yeah.
Take it.
That's one of the coolest vehicles ever made in my opinion. I wish that someday I could have that. It's so freaking expensive. So maybe someday, but right now I do not have it yet in my collection.
It's a shitty picture. I apologize. So let me go to the actual picture.
Oh, okay.
Let me go to the actual picture. There you go.
There you go. That's way better.
Yeah. So these are two different colorway versions. There's actually two other color combination versions that were a third version was produced and a fourth unproduced version as well.
You see, I didn't even know that until now. So that's pretty neat.
I'm here for you, dude.
yeah, you are. Version 2 Techno Viper is pretty freaking cool. I just wish you would have came with an accessory. It doesn't come with anything. You know.
Yeah, he's like Breaker, man. Breaker had no weapon. He just got a stupid radio headset, and that's it.
They should have at least gave him like a pistol, you know, or like a dagger or something.
But
slingshot. Or giving him one of his original wrenches to brain a guy with, or something. But...
Yeah, something, you know.
Yep.
But you know, as far as the Power Fighter, it's just awesome looking. It kind of reminds me of the Exo Squad toys. I used to play with those too when I was a kid, and that's probably where they obviously got the idea, because that was pretty popular at the time. So,
you mean like this?
Yeah, exactly, like that. Yeah, yep.
Oh, let's move that along, because otherwise I'll turn it into an Exo Squad stream.
Brother, if you want to talk Exo Squad, you and I will do that another time, because I love Exo Squad. They're everywhere in this room.
For those playing along at home, G.I. Joe fit in those suits. So
that's why I have them, dude. They fit in the mechs. They're so great. Anyway, go ahead, Jim.
Let's see. Is there anything else I could add to it? There's one thing I don't like is how freaking hard to find they are, and for like a really good price, they're so freaking expensive. Besides that, I don't have any problem, with them at all. It's just, I'm not sure why they I guess towards the end they had loads of them, and they were like shelf warmers. Is what I heard. There's so many like on the shelves, and I guess it took a couple of years to sell them all, but yet now this day and age, unless everybody's hoarding them, I don't see why they're so hard to get your hands on, for a decent price. They weren't really that scarce. They're really not that scarce of a toy,
And see, that's what I say about the 90s, because everyone, the larger G.I. Joe community shits all over the 90s all the time. And I'm like, if they're so awful, why are they so expensive?
I was going to say, you can't find a lot of them on the secondary market.
And that's why James and I started this stream, is because people bag on 90s, but there's some really great shit in the 90s.
We're just sick of it, in Facebook, I'm almost always defending my posts, my 90s posts in all the G.I. Joe groups. Because somebody's always has something to say about it, and then anyway. Chad made this really cool, stream and everything, and that's talking about this, and I'm gonna quit talking about that now.
All right, so Chris says Power Fighters were awesome and too short-lived. I don't know if you guys saw what Photo Viper said that I threw up for a while, but last time he saw Techno Viper on eBay, he was over $100 by himself. I can 100% understand that. Vickman said, got it. I like it. A little too delicate, broke too soon, or I had monster hands or something. Well, maybe both. Maybe you have monstrous hands and it was too delicate. And then Ryan says, looks super rad. If only I knew of the figure, or I only knew of the figure. But yeah, there you go. Cobra Power Fighter right there. And then Sal, just because I'm trying to get you riled up, I don't know if you saw, I held up one of the other.
Oh, man. Listen.
Yeah. Look at how perfect that goes with Cobra. I mean, I know it's Exo Squad, but just look at it. You would talk about Metalhead.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me Metalhead wouldn't look perfect in that thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're gonna get off that topic. Sal and I are just gonna.
I'd say the version 2 Metalhead though.
Yeah. Sal, you got anything about the Power Fighter?
I know people like it, but to me, what this looks like, it looks like a dollar store toy or like a Mexican flea market toy. So, like, it looks like, if I saw, like, I've never even heard of this until now. Like, I've never seen this before. I have the Mark Bellomo book that's like to your left or to your right. So like I have them. I've and I've looked through the book and all that. I've never seen those. And if I saw one out at a flea market or saw it somewhere, I would just not even know it's G.I. Joe and just keep walking. So, but
yeah, that's a fair assessment. JD, you got anything on them?
I've never had one. I've never had the figure, never owned the Power Fighter. I was aware of the Power Fighters once I had Yo-Jo, but I've never had either of them. Gears was a nifty character. There was just a lazy repaint of Barricade, and honestly, this Techno Viper, it's not as cool as the original, but at least it is the original mold. It's missing some paint apps, but a lot of the, especially the vehicle drivers later on, they were missing a lot of paint apps. That's okay. This one's cool, but I've never owned one, and the way they go now for the prices, I never even consider it. But yeah, it's interesting. I would like. Remember that robot that came with the original Nintendo? I wonder. This has a little bit of that quality to it, and that's interesting.
I like that correlation there. And then Scuba Pete says has a Tomy feel to it. Yeah, I can totally see that. And then Photo Viper and Ryan were talking about how 94 stuff was released in fewer numbers. They're more rare today. And then Phil from Treasures from Trigger says, I was going to say surely later 90s stuff was released in much lower numbers. And, we see that with a lot of stuff. So you see it with the Listen and Fun Tripwire. You see it with a lot of the 90s Joes. You also see it with, like, the later, like, Power of the Force, the original Power of the Force, not Power of the Force 2 90s Star Wars, but, like, right. But you look at, like, Yak Face, like, they destroyed a bunch of those figures because they just couldn't move them. They either shipped them overseas or destroyed them.
Yeah,
and so that's why they're rare and expensive.
And despite what people say, like I'm sure there's probably like one person on this planet who legitimately loves Yak Face, but that's a stupid character and a stupid figure. All right, and he's not rare. Like he's just expensive. Because if you go on eBay right now, I promise you'll find one. Yeah, like rare.
He's just dumb.
Means like you never see them on eBay, but you never see them in person at shows. But if you like. Every show I go to, there's a Yak Face, like, so it's not that rare.
Yeah, and just to back up what you're saying about rare versus expensive, like this thing right there, right? Robo Skull, hard to find, like not expensive, hard to find. A Shadow Track complete, like the Palatoy stuff, they're so hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kamoya, what's up, Chris? He says, "What's up, gentlemen? Sorry I missed a lot." That's totally cool, man. You actually missed me open this. I opened this Overkill.
Yeah.
On camera, I opened this guy up because peer pressure.
The thing I would add to the argument about lower production number and all that kind of stuff, which I can see the merit, but on the flip side of that, it's like, okay, so if the 80s stuff was produced in greater numbers, why is that shit also expensive? Yeah. So
because thumbs and crotches exploded. You know what it is, man? It's all the market.
Yep. It's people. We the collectors dictate the market value. If we're willing to pay something that, like,
yep,
if I put, I don't know, a Duke with a broken dick and no arm on a Facebook group and someone pays $90 for him, that becomes the market value.
Because somebody's going to go look and they're going to see, well, what did one of the last Dukes with a broken dick sell for? And there's going to be, $90. Well, I'm going to price mine at $95 and on and on and on, right? Diminished returns, 100%.
Yeah.
Then Ryan said, should have said 87 Viper. Whoa, we're not talking 80s, Ryan. We're talking 90s. But thank you for that. Your answer will still be recorded in the annals of our show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like,
so anyway, Cobra Power Viper. Go ahead, Sal.
I was going to say something in relation to that comment, but we haven't gotten there yet, so I'll hold it.
Oh, yeah? Where the hell are the rest of my... Wah, wah. Okay, I threw this one on here. This one's mine. Cobra Parasite, right? So 1992 Parasite. I freaking love this vehicle.
Me too.
So... James, in episode 1, we were kind of talking about ages and this, that, and when we were into and when we were out of. And so,
right,
92, I was already getting ready to join the Army. I got out of high school in 91.
Yeah,
I never
was only 10.
saw this. Yeah, I never saw this when I was 18, pushing 19. I didn't have it then. Like I have the Belomo guide, like Sal pointed out, is sitting behind me, and I know about these vehicles and all this. I wasn't really into this vehicle until James, you and I started talking about it, and you just gushed on the vehicle. I was like, dude, that's pretty rad. This sucker holds 17 figures. I mean, obviously, right, it says it right there on the box, but like when you get your hands on this thing, it holds 17 figures.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
There's pegs all over it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everywhere.
Well, and it's got how many figures fit inside the compartment? Is it 4 or is it 6?
Six.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a lot, dude.
Yeah, because it holds more figures than the Hiss 2 does, and I think it's
I mean, look at that. I have 2 of them sitting behind me, and I could grab one, but
it
is the
I
entire
could grab
side.
mine, but my figures would go everywhere if I grabbed it like right now.
Yeah, don't sweat it. But it's a fat vehicle, and like when
awesome.
you open this side, like it is easily accessible.
And it looks just totally like built for like war. I mean, it's like a war machine, just the way it looks.
It has a freaking trebuchet that throws mines on the top of it.
Yeah.
Like this thing's awesome, man.
You can always get me with the trebuchet, and I had that vehicle. I loved that vehicle when I was a kid. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say interesting. I was looking at the box art, and they have the 3 Flak Vipers on it. It's rare because usually the vehicle boxes will have a bunch of different characters from whatever year it was released. It's interesting that they had 3 Flak Vipers on the side of it with Destro driving, but they didn't put like the Incinerator or some of the other characters. It's just interesting. It was like this box was subtly saying you need more than 1 Flak Viper. Buy more than 1 Army, build it.
Buy them all, right?
And
gotta catch them all.
I had, I think, 3 or 4 of those when I was a kid, the Flak Vipers.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you're talking size, right? That is a big ass vehicle, man.
It is.
And it even holds modern, and it holds the modern Walmart retro figures too.
Nice.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, that's cool.
Dude,
I had one as a kid. I don't have one now. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
And there's no blind spots on it at all. There's no blind spots. It has a big, huge turret like in the front. Actually, 3 of them. And then on the back on top of it, there's like 1 turret that that could pretty much turn. And I mean, just like the one in the front.
Yeah.
And then it has like a mine launcher like right on top of it. You can just pretend that they're all like nuclear or whatever.
And P.S. like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you better tie this thing down, man, or it's gonna come loose and it's gonna get you.
Yeah, for sure.
And the back of the vehicle has the slots in the armor, so the guys inside can fire their guns while they're sitting inside, like they're enclosed. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And mine
on the side too, the closed side.
Oh yeah. That's just don't shoot the mines on accident, because
I don't know how my original rubber band hasn't like ripped yet, but I have the original rubber band for it for the mine launcher. and it's just fine. It's like, there's no there's like no tears in it or anything, and it's crazy because it's over 30 years old.
Yeah. So real quick, Kamoya, our buddy Chris says it's the 90s APC, and then Photo Viper, he actually made a comment of something I was going to touch on. He said he painted his purple, use it for Techno Viper's crew. This vehicle just screams make a custom, right? I've seen an Iron Grenadiers version. I've seen like one that's done up like Viper colors, and you can chrome stuff out. It's a great vehicle. It has a lot of big pieces that just scream to be repainted.
I like the idea of it being a Techno Viper transport. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You can do crazy stuff with this vehicle. It's I don't know. I really like it. Sal, you got any thoughts on this vehicle?
I like the really big tires.
Yeah. Right.
That's kind of, I don't know. It just, I don't know, it looks heavy duty, I guess. Like, it looks like it could take a wallop during playtime. So,
yeah.
For sure.
So on episode 1, James and I talked about the Cobra Rage and how we loved everything about the vehicle except the conical shape of those tires. Like, we weren't big fans of those tires.
Yeah, the cones.
Yeah, but then when you talk about the Parasite, and like it has very massive tires. And
they're all beefed up.
Yeah, the profile of this vehicle is just great. Anybody got anything else on the old Parasite there? No.
It's just too bad Hasbro never did a repaint of it, or didn't come out earlier, where maybe it would have had a chance to get a repaint in the subset later, because it just seems like a vehicle that they could have done more, or maybe had the line continued in 95, 96, maybe they would have done a repaint eventually of it.
They had a lot of stuff in the chute that they were wanting to do, just like that whale we were talking about. And then they had that really big Cobra like mobile command bunker that they were going to make that had that massive turret on the top. I've only seen the production designs of it, but that thing's wacky. I was like, I bet you I could make a custom on that.
Man, they should have made that. Right.
So that's the end of our vehicles, gentlemen. James?
Nice. Toxo Lab. Hopefully someday I'll actually have that thing. It's one of the coolest play sets out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's this thing has some parts that are hard to get a hold of.
Oh yeah.
I've never owned one. I've seen pictures and I've seen it at shows, but you're right, it's always missing stuff.
Oh yeah.
It has that little pellet. Don't you have the sub, James, that has that pellet that comes with it? It's in the little bag, and
Yep. Yeah, it comes with, like, you put the pellet in there, and it's like a baking soda.
It's basically an Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, and so the Toxo Lab came with one too, but it's highly suggested that just because it doesn't come with the pellet doesn't mean it's not complete, right? Because people don't really consider that complete or not.
And why do they only come with one? That's, the same thing with the Barracuda. They only came with one. That was it.
Yeah, it's like a stupid little bag about this big, the little foil bag.
Yeah, it lasts you about 10 minutes, and then the whole gimmick is just done. It's over.
Yeah, this thing's so crazy that I actually put a picture of the back of the box on here too. There's a lot going on with this, and then
that's really cool.
Pete said, "Holy shit, so good!" The lab. Yep. This thing is nuts, man. You want to talk about being toyetic, right? And all the play features and playability. I mean, this thing had it. If you liked Eco Warriors or not, like, this thing's still like they packed it in with this sucker.
So
that's my favorite subline.
It's got the mandatory 90s grabbing arm that was on like every playset. So I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know who he is, and I always try to be mindful about the quote-unquote name dropping, but I watch a lot of the Critical Drinker just because he's hilarious, and he always talks about how if it has the word attitude, it's 90s, and I was like, yep, that pretty much describes it perfectly. Attitude, right?
Extreme.
I mean, attitude.
There's your dude.
Attitude is only one of the 2 qualifications that was required to be a Power Ranger. So
that's
Zordon said I need 5 teenagers with attitude. So That was half the qualification.
Yeah. And then Photo Viper says, off topic, but the whale and Shark 9000 colors would have been badass in the 90s. Yeah. James and I have kind of discussed and agreed that we think the Shark 9000 was kind of the whale replacement.
Yep. I actually have that right here.
Watch out, JD. The Exorcist is coming again.
I know. I'm sorry. It's so annoying.
Put your good guy shit away. We're talking bad guys. But yes.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Glorious vehicle. We'll get back to that. Anyway,
All right.
Ryan B says playset looks like a ton of fun. Yeah, it totally does. It's got all sorts of gimmicks, and you put that little Alka-Seltzer pellet in here and you make this sucker go, and it's pretty rad. I mean, we're talking about 90s attitude, right? I mean, I am wearing a hot pink shirt with the collar popped, because attitude. Sal, you got any other thoughts on this sucker?
I feel like it's something I would have liked as a kid, especially like the grabbing arm would have been my favorite feature, but it's also a very small set. Like it's got the bubbles, it's got a launcher, and nothing else. So it's like, okay, you use the one pellet you have, and you're like, cool, and then next time you're gonna play with it, it's like, I'm gonna put you into room temperature tap water. How you feel about that?
I'm gonna rust all your damn screws. Take that.
That's right.
Then Photo Viper says, Toxo Labs, one of my grails, hard to find, complete loose. Yep. Best to bite the bullet and get one mint in the box. Yeah, definitely. It is one of those that if you don't get it complete or near complete, forget it. Like, you're just screwed. I always look at this thing, and it just screams like the little droid play set, the one that came with Return of the Jedi that they repurposed from earlier in the Star Wars line. I see this, and I'm just like, it's the droid set. I mean, I know it's not, but. And then Vickman says, I wish I had that one. Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
JD, you got anything else on the?
No, it's cool. I've never owned one. I have seen one, and it is cool. I agree, it's a little small, but honestly, it looks cool. All the colors pop, and I'm not saying that just because it's 90s. Like, I like the color contrast with it, and I like the translucent blue torture device, the
tube,
the glass enclosure. It's really cool. I mean, I'd like to own one, but I don't have any internal organs that I want to sell, so I'm going to keep those all and, just look at this one from afar.
Not for a small size playset. No, absolutely not. That's the weird thing. Go ahead, Sal.
Say, looking at kind of the base of it, like where it's got those 3 steps and that kind of wedge shape. Now, I don't know. I'm just speculating and talking out of my ass, but it looks like maybe that might have been supposed to have been part of a larger play set at one point. Like it might have right there. Kind of how just the angle of it. It seems like a weird thing to include. You know what I mean? So it looks like maybe it should have been part of a larger play set. They just kind of chopped that part off and sold it by itself.
Yeah, I can get behind that, especially when you look at the size of this play set. And then look at the 93 Joe headquarters. Like, there's a lot bigger. So, yeah, maybe they were. Maybe they were going to expand that line and put another piece with that. It might be a discussion for another day. And Scuba Pete calls it an evil back-to-tank, which I can get behind that. 100%. Anything else on the old Toxo Lab, gentlemen?
No.
Okay, bye. Moving on. All right, so honorable mentions, right? Now we're going to get into honorable mentions. So we talked about Overkill. I kind of mentioned, we talked about this Overkill, right? The one that I opened for everyone. And then we also talked about this Overkill. And then we discussed how the file card and Devil's Due had him as something different. So in the comics, and this is also a 90s figure, right? It's 1990. But in the comics, 1990 Saw Viper, right? Robert Skelton. James, did you do your research on this?
I'm going to let you take the lead on that, but yeah, I did do a little bit of reading on it.
Okay, so if we talk about the whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, so according to the Devil's Due comic, Robert Skelton, the Saw Viper, is the one who actually became Overkill. And he changed his name to Overkill because hopefully you guys know where I'm going with this.
He overkilled a bunch of Joes, and
Because of this.
to this day,
Because of this.
still traumatized by that comic.
100%. So issue 109 and 110, it's a 2-part story. It mostly takes place in 109, but it kind of continues and culminates in 110, where the Crimson Twins are told by Cobra Commander to get rid of these Joes. And so they perceive get rid of as, well, let's execute them. So the Saw Viper, Robert Skelton's like, yeah, I got this, right? Hold my beer. And so he kills Doc, Thunder, Crankcase, Heavy Metal, several of the Battle Force 2000 guys. He just murks them, right? He just completely murks them. And then Vickman says, purple power. Yep. So the Saw Viper, Robert Skelton, because he has such a high kill count, especially after that, changes his name to Overkill. And then there's 1990, and then there's the modern. That modern Saw Viper is awesome. I do.
Oh yeah,
love that figure. And I actually I busted him out in case anybody wanted to see him. But that's a great looking figure. So yeah, that's something I just kind of wanted to honorably mention, was that the Saw Viper, according to Devil's Due Productions, becomes Overkill.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
I mean, in comic books,
it is Devil's Due, right? So I mean, we gotta like preface with that.
This is true. I mean, because what was it? Issue 111 that the ninja, that Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes, and Scarlet go after the Saw Viper, and at the end of the issue, Snake Eyes is carrying the Saw Viper's machine gun, and he just throws it on the ground to say, "Well, we killed him. We got him, and here's the gun." But we know in comic books that Brian, my co-host, puts it perfectly. I love the way he said it, that death is a minor career setback. Well, yes, in comic books, has anybody stayed dead? Not really. I mean, a few did. Bucky Barnes did. Oh, wait, no, he didn't. Jason Todd did. Wait, no, he didn't either. And neither did the Saw Viper. He came back as a cyborg. I don't know.
Weird. So did Superman.
Yeah, see, and when the Saw Viper was also not dead anymore, because I was like, well, I'll accept it as the story they wanted to tell. I disagreed with it, but then I had to agree because they killed off Billy, and that was okay. He take the good.
They didn't bring back Thunder. Thunder stayed dead.
Yes, he did, and poor Doc. Yeah, it was an interesting twist, but was it necessary? I don't know, maybe.
No, but it is one of those fun little things where, in a different continuity, it's kind of a neat little expansion on, going from this to something else, and they really use this as a piggyback. Because I mean, sure, old GI Jesus here comes back with his squad automatic weapon, but still, like, I kind of liked how they tied it in like that. I know Devil's Due, they were trying to do their own thing, and we know what direction that finally wound up going, but still, I thought it was kind of neat, and that's why I wanted to give him honorable mention. Anybody got anything on Saw Viper? You like him? Don't like him?
I don't like his big ass gun.
Yeah, what caliber is that?
90s attitude caliber?
I don't like his gun at all.
It's like 30 millimeter, man. You know it is.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, Image Comics approves of that machine gun.
Yeah, and I'm like, but
he would need pouches on pouches. Yeah, he just needs pouches on pouches. You know that Rob Liefeld thing.
Yeah. Well,
then.
Yeah, because like Mark Silvestri and like all of it, like his Cyber Force, I'm like, yeah, it fits right along, but it's just out of scale. It's really weird because scale of the weapons was very rarely a thing that they got wrong in the vintage line, and I don't understand what happened with the production on this one. Because in the card art, he's got that same gun, but it's half the size.
Uh-huh.
I mean, just think about the
and then if you
recoil.
look at, but then when you look at the modern version, right, they gave him an actual like M249 saw. Like it's a good looking weapon on the modern version.
Yeah, the
They
modern
definitely-
one's fine, but I mean, the original one, it's just way too big.
Oh yeah, 100%. But 90s, right? We were talking about 90s and attitude. And if you remember James so that's what you're talking about right there, JD. And if you remember James in episode 1, Johnny Havoc from Simple Tricks and Nonsense was talking about scale and like if you have a 6-inch figure and a 6-inch weapon, so that's kind of what he was talking about. I mean that thing is freaking gigantic.
Okay.
Hey Sal, look at that awesome gangster grip there, man. You can hear my strep throat freaking out.
Oh yeah. Gotta love it.
And then Phil says 90s attitude caliber. Good call. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So cool. All right. So Saw Viper. And I got one more honorable mention. And I just want to hear your guys' thoughts.
The coolest element of version 2, they threw it out. They didn't include the robot shark, and they didn't paint the abs part of the wetsuit, so it just blends with the rest of it. It was an unnecessary, badly done repaint, and it didn't have the cool accessory. So
exactly.
I like Vickman's comment here that Saw Viper's weapon was classified scale, and they were thinking into the future. So again, we looked at Gristle, and remember how like the card art, the way he was painted on the card art did not match the figure. And JD, you just kind of beat up on this, where like he's blue in the abdominal region, and here he's not. But look, he's also like no gloves here. He's got gloves there.
Right? Yeah, that's weird. He doesn't have gloves in the card. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. I just now noticed that.
Yeah, his helmet just makes me think that someone really liked Rocketeer.
Hell yeah, Rocketeer.
I know. That's one of the things I can't stand about him, actually.
I cannot stand Eel version 3. Like we were talking about worst figures, and I was like, yeah, I'll kind of come back to that. Right. So there it is.
Yeah.
I am definitely not a fan of it. 1993 Battle Corp, pardon me, Cobra Eel version 3.
Yeah.
This is how freaking blown out this figure is, right? High resolution. You almost lose him in the white.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost impossible to see the lines of him. I mean, that's how blown out this figure is. Look at that dude.
Yep.
Oh, the Photo Viper says better than version 2.
Nah.
Bill says hand weapon on the art just looks plain and stupid. Yeah, but anyway, there he is. Cobra Eel version 3 with his VR goggles on.
If it had been like flush against his face, the head wouldn't look as bad.
Yeah, the visuals on this figure are just wacky.
Well, the sculpt is weird. The design's weird. I've seen customs of this. There's a couple of guys named Chad and Matt, and they did. One of them did a Real American Hero, an Eel version 1 repaint of this figure. They used the gray, the red, the black, and even in the original color scheme, this figure just looked weird. I've seen it used for other customs where people would like put them in different sub teams, and I'm just like, this sculpt, this design is just weird in every color I've seen it in. It, and somebody in this chat earlier said that it looks more like a figure that belongs in space. You know what? I could see it. If you reassign this guy as a Star Brigade figure with space gear, I think I can kind of see that. This figure in particular is just bad because of the unpainted details, but this sculpt,
I love some of these comments. So Scuba Pete said I should get a wetsuit that color. And then Vickman said he's got a Virtual Boy as goggles. And then Ryan B. Man, Ryan's such a rad dude. Ryan said he looks like Alpha 5, right?
Ay.
Ay.
That
Teenagers
Yeah, I
with
guess it
attitude.
does.
The chest
Yeah, I
sculpt
can see
itself
that.
could have been salvaged, like in a different, like if they had done like, I don't know, it looks like you could turn it into like armor, sort of, and like leave the pecs as like flesh tone and make him into, I don't know, like a Mad Max Dreadnought type character. But there's no saving the arms and legs for him. It's
The
all
head-
drills.
Head's
It's
gotta
like,
go.
like I would get it. Like you would think, oh, fins would make you more aerodynamic when you swim, except that's not how humans swim. So
Yeah. And and there's some figures that can be saved by repaint. There's some figures that can be saved by some kit bashing, and some that just can't. But I really wanted to honorably mention the Saw Viper and horribly mention this eel, and just kind of end it on that. And just have a little laugh, have a little fun with it.
Yeah. You can definitely get a lot of laughs out of that.
I can't stand this figure, gentlemen. But that's just me. Anybody else got anything for Eel version 3 before we go?
Nope.
Sinking. All right, cool. Well, then that comes to the end of our presentation, my friends. I would like to thank Sal and JD for joining myself and James tonight. I had a wonderful time having you guys on. So I can't thank you both enough.
yeah, but thanks for having me.
And then
Yeah,
Photo
definitely.
Viper said he does glow nicely under UV light. Yeah, he glows so well that he disappears. So,
I would imagine.
thank you guys for coming. And Sal, if you do want to talk classified or Exo Squad or something like that, we can definitely do that. And
Awesome.
JD, I'm gonna send you this Overkill.
Dude,
So-
that's
Oh,
awesome.
that's cool.
I was just kidding when I said that.
No, send me your address, dude. I'm
cool.
gonna send them to you.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, I will.
100%.
I wanted to, when I went upstairs before, I just wanted to, when Sal mentioned the Nitro Viper, I love the idea. My problem with the Nitro Viper is I don't like the Track Viper sculpt. He had a really cool design that the sculpt just didn't capture it. Like he's real lanky, he's real weird, the proportions are weird, and that head is teeny tiny, and it drove me nuts that of all the figures they could have repainted as the Nitro Viper, they used that stupid Track Viper with the lanky. I'm not a fan. So what I did a couple months ago was I decided, well, what would have happened in 1993 if the Nitro Viper had come out with a better selection of parts? So I've never shown this custom off. I did it. I used the color scheme.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
recreated the color scheme with Fast Draw's head, the Star
Yeah.
Viper's arms, and
Nice.
torso. Charbroil's waist, Charbroil's lower legs, and the Headhunter Stormtroopers.
That's
thighs.
awesome, JD.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
That's really cool.
I'm like, and now I'm sad I don't have a Cobra Detonator for him to drive. So
You better fix that shit.
I don't, it's just, yeah, but I'm like, yeah, so the Nitro could have been awesome, but they ruined it by using the Track Viper sculpt. So,
I made a
I don't know, I actually
modern
like it like
custom
that.
Track Viper. I made a modern custom Track Viper that
yes, and
I
that's
like-
one
I
of my
like.
favorite customs you've made. And you took all the design elements that were really cool in the original concept, and you put them on a more modern figure with much better proportions, and he's not lanky and gawky and has a teeny tiny ridiculous head. And I'm like, see, he saved the Track Viper. Then I look at the original and I'm like, and you still suck, Track Viper. So good job on that. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Great design, terrible figure, and Nitro Viper just. It was just the cardinal sin of using that dumb figure as a basis. So,
But yours with
I
that
appreciate having me on the show. Yeah. Thank you.
that Fast Draw head looks awesome.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, I had to glue the thing down because one of the pegs was broken. But otherwise, I was gonna try to give him like the Cobra mask underneath. But I was like, oh crap, I can't because so I had to glue it down. But I was curious what fast draws had, and I'm like, that reminds me, I really need a new fast draw because man, that's a cool figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for having me on the show. I was joking when I asked a couple weeks ago, when can I be on? And I'm like, oh, they're gonna have me on, so I appreciate it.
I'm like, no, you son of a bitch! You already locked yourself in. You better get here.
Yeah, JD, I've known you for a long time now, and I'm really glad that you're on the show too. So,
yeah, it is cool to finally talk to you guys. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and Sal too, man. I gotta say, like, Sal, you know, I think the world of you, brother. And like you and I finally met at Joe Fest and we hung out. You know, I love you, man. Like, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I would also like to just throw this in there that I army build Nitro and Track Vipers, but I don't own a HISS-2 or a Detonator. So that's
all right.
That's
the irony of that is a little bit funny.
Yeah. Okay, screw it. Hang on. Wait one sec. Here I go. I'm doing it.
So an honorable mention that if we were I thought we were gonna eventually get to our favorite vehicles. Mine's the Cobra Bug, which I know was 88, but I think it's an honorable 90s vehicle based on the colors.
Look at Phil. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate that. Because I gotta keep it real. The next one may or may not be a highlighter yellow, so it just might be. And real quick, Vickman, the next one is going to be in 2 weeks because we do the Neon at Night every 2 weeks. And Jay Bartlett from Jay Bartlett and Action Figure Adventure is going to be our guest on the next one. So that's your answer for that. And next week I'm going to have Jeremy Jernigan from Authority Figure, and just like a My Show thing, and we're gonna talk. Jeremy and I are going to talk classified shit. So anyway, Sal, ready?
Oh man.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
Iron Grenadier HISS-2, baby.
That's freaking cool, man.
That's nice.
I got a shitload of these. I got a shitload of custom HISS-2s.
I love it. You put the launcher from the DTC HISS on top of it, and oh man, that's cool.
That's so cool.
This is from an off-brand. The DTC HISS looks like, in fact, like, look, right? Because I was just working on a DTC. You guys know that like HISS tanks are they're like my kryptonite. So I was working on customizing this sucker. But yeah,
dude,
the DTC HISS and this are totally different. Yeah.
Oh God, you're right. They are, aren't they?
Yeah. This is actually from an off-brand.
It's a lot bigger.
Yeah. Wow. Boy, did I
don't know if it's the core or what, but yeah.
That's cool,
I had
man.
to pull that down for Sal because he said he doesn't have a HISS-2.
Yeah, that's beautiful though.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
The only one I ever customized, I basically spray painted it white and put Imperial decals all over it and just made it into like a Snow Trooper vehicle. But I replaced the 388 with the 1138. So
nice. 1138
nice.
THX.
Nice. Yeah.
Dig it. Very cool. So real quick, Phil says, great chat, lads. Phil, thanks for coming, man. We really appreciate it. Scuba, a blast. Thanks, guys. Scuba Pete, thanks, man. Scuba Pete's a really rad guy, too. We really appreciate him coming. And Photo Viper, Moto Viper would have been a good repaint. Yep. Vickman, I already answered that. And thank you for my award. And then Photo Viper says, great show tonight, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. This sucker ran long, gentlemen, but 2 hours and 20 went by pretty fast. I had a great time.
Me too. Had a good time.
Well,
and Sal,
it's
it's
gonna go
nice
longer with guests, especially guests that don't shut up. So,
yeah, whatever.
Yep. Hey, Sal, it's nice to make your acquaintance too.
Yes, sir. You likewise. My
you.
parting thoughts are that the Brawler should have been a Cobra vehicle.
Nah.
You know what? I could see that. No, James was like, I don't like you anymore.
No, I didn't say that.
I take back all the shit I said that was nice.
Hey, hey, we're all entitled to have our own opinion, so it's totally fine. Yeah.
It's just
Even if
the
they're
Brawler. The
fucking
Brawler's
garbage.
the Brawler's probably my favorite '90s vehicle, and it just kind of irks me that it's not Cobra. So.
Yeah.
Well, you can always make a Cobra,
a
my
custom
friend.
of it.
I could, but I'd have to own one.
I took Storm Eagles and I made them into freaking G1 Decepticon Seekers. You can do it, bro.
Yeah.
Do it. All right, gentlemen. Well, we're going to call it a night, and I thank you all for coming and joining us. JD, Sal, thank you so much, and everybody in the chat who's still here.
No problem.
Thank you for coming, and you all are awesome. And we will do it again in 2 weeks. Yep. Thanks, gentlemen.
Good. All right. All right. Bye.
Take care.
G.I. Joe! It's good versus evil, and this time the battle's bigger than ever! G.I. Joe figures and vehicles sold separately.
Get me the plasma tops, and Cobra will rule the world!
Here comes the sinister Cobra Paralyzer with 3 awesome missiles that really fire!
Fire! I've got the plasma tops! Cobra!
Not so fast! Snake drop!
It's the G.I. Joe Badger with 3 powerful firing missiles!
Fire!
G.I. Joe, American hero! G.I. Joe!
Cobra Paralyzer and G.I. Joe Badger sold separately.
Anybody got a parachute?